throughout Australia. Welcome to 3AW's Round 1 coverage of the 2018 AFL Premiership season.
Handed up to Zaharakis, got it to Merritt, got it to McKenna, breaks through, runs to 55. This would be massive, lights it off the boot, drills it.
Live from Etihad Stadium, it's Essendon versus Adelaide.
Luke Brown easily outpointed Cameron Guthrie, took the mark, right on, kicked the goal of the night.
The McDonald's 3AW is football.
It certainly is. Thank you, Craig Willis. Welcome everyone to Etihad Stadium, Game 2 of the opening round of 2018, and it is the Bombers hosting the beaten grand finalists from last year, the Adelaide Crows. Both clubs finished their season on a major downer. The Bombers smashed in week 1 of the finals up in Sydney by the Swans by 11 goals, and the Crows, favourites in the grand final, but flogged by 8 goals by the mighty Tigers. It's all set up for a huge Friday night here with the roof open. To tell us more, down on the boundary for Master Builders is your builder, a Master Builder, and we welcome her to 3AW Footy in 2018. It's a very good evening to Nat Edwards.
Thanks, Bruce. It is beautiful down here, a perfect night for football. The roof, Ralph, the roof is open, 27 degrees, the current temperature. I'm regretting my decision to wear pants, actually. I should have worn the shorts like you did. But absolutely perfect conditions for football tonight. We do have a late change, and that is to the Adelaide side. Sam Gibson is out with a hamstring. He brings to an end his 130 consecutive run of games, which is unfortunate for him. And Hugh Greenwood is the in for Adelaide. So that's the only late change. The interchange benches for Essendon, Andy McGrath. Will he play on Eddie Betts? We know he did a really brilliant job shutting him down last year, the rising star. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes when he does come off the bench. Langford, Green and D. And for Adelaide, the bench, Greenwood, Mackay, Ellis Yeoman. Great to see him back after he missed all of last season with an ACL injury. And a new face, a debutant in Lachlan Murphy. And he is just one of 4 new faces for the Adelaide Crows tonight. Of course, their high-prized recruit in Bryce Gibbs will make his official debut tonight after coming across from Carlton during the trade season. Then Lachlan Murphy, as I mentioned, the number 38 draft pick from last year. Darcy Fogarty, pick 12, the Crows' first pick last year. He's 193 centimetres, kicked 3 goals against Port Adelaide in the JLT series and looked very, very impressive up forward. And he has a big job, of course, with the skipper Taylor Walker out of the Adelaide side. And Tom Doedee, that's exactly how you pronounce it, guys, Doedee, and he is the number 1 intercept marker in the SAMFL last year, and he is seen as a Jake Lever replacement. So good to see Murphy, Doedee and Fogarty making their debuts tonight for Adelaide. The new faces for Essendon, very well publicised. Jake Stringer, Devon Smith and Adam Sard. So good to see them getting a run around. And we should mention as well that Don Pike, the Adelaide coach, is coaching his 50th game tonight. So a nice little milestone for him to check off the list. And I can tell you, I have spotted Collingwood's Jordan De Goey in the crowd down here tonight. So very interesting.
So Natalie Edwards with all the news and confirming she's the one wearing the pants in the commentary team.
Yes,
as Jordan got a beer in his hand.
And Nat,
No.
Nat, can I point out that Tony Shaw and Matthew Lloyd are also wearing the astronauts tonight, which is a nice segue for them to drill down into the preview of this game. Nat Edwards down on the boundary all night for Master Builders. We're 6 minutes away from the opening bounce. If you're looking for an omen tonight, Lloydie, 3rd time these 2 clubs have met in round 1, and Essendon has won both encounters. They were both back at Footy Park, so it's ancient history. And in fact, in 2007, the Bombers won by 31 points on a Sunday afternoon. A left-footed key forward booted 7 goals for. His name is Scott Lucas.
That's right.
But who's going to win and why tonight, Lloydie?
I like the Bombers. I think that if ever they're going to beat the Adelaide Crows, it's tonight. Just with those outs, good outs. Brad Crouch, Tex Walker, and obviously you've got Gibson pulling out late, and then they've lost Cameron and Lever over the off-season, and Brodie Smith still with a knee reconstruction. So I just think they play this game, this ground extremely well, the Bombers. They're fast on the outside. The big query, though, for them is just through that midfield. Can Val Chambers match up well against Jacobs? I think he can. But can they win on the inside? Devon Smith's come in and been there, probably their number 2 midfielder now, behind Zach Merritt. So the big question mark is their depth of midfield, but I think on their home deck here at Etihad Stadium, they'll be too quick for the Adelaide Crows. Danaher I just worry about Talia and these types. Hardigan, a bit too slow and lack that mobility to go with him. So I think Danaher to kick 4 or 5 and the Bombers to go at the line short.
Yeah, look, I'm looking forward to it. One thing, we talk about coming off a grand final like Adelaide did, but you're right, they're missing some really good players. And Brad Crouch is one of them, just a ball magnet. Had a fantastic season last year. Walker, the captain, so a lot of their leadership has been missing. And Jake Lever, who we know is probably the best intercept mark or one of them in the competition, so he's left the club. I think if a couple of those players, like even if Walker in this side, I would have nearly gone with the Adelaide Crows. But I'm with you. I think the Bombers might cover the ground a little bit more on the outside and quicker than what the Adelaide Crows do. The Bombers, they love to kick. They were third for points for last year, but against they were 12th, so they do get scored against. And the problem was they were the worst team of turning the ball over out of their back half. So some of their players coming out of there, Saad, those types, really looking forward to him being able to run the ball. And the new players, Jake Stringer, it's about time Jake Stringer, he did have a great year, and he needs to really stand up to that level again. And we know that Devon Smith is a dangerous small forward, medium forward. He might even go into the midfield. So, looking forward to a pretty quick game, I'm thinking here. But I'm going to pick Essendon now. I just think their speed on the outside might be too good. I was
chatting to a good friend of ours, Mark Kleiman, today, Sean.
Oh, Maxie.
And he is managing Lachlan Murphy. Just want to tell a quick story about Lachlan Murphy. Is that Lachlan Murphy played for the Northern Knights in 2016, didn't get drafted. He got a phone call from the Adelaide Crows saying, do you want to play in our VFL side and you can work in the Adelaide shop selling merchandise? He played last year. They said, we're not going to draft you. And he was going to come back to Melbourne. He then gets a call saying, Charlie Cameron's decided to leave. You're probably a 10% chance of getting drafted. He then gets rookie listed at pick 38, and over that pre-season has worked his way into this side. So it's an unbelievable story. Dominated in the JLT series.
I might drop in to see him in the shop tomorrow. Yeah. He's still working in the shop?
Oh, I'm not sure.
That come under the salary cap?
I'm not sure. Last year, not sure how it worked with
That's
the VFL.
A great story.
But it's amazing where you can come from. Ivanhoe Grammar and Northern Knights overlooked and gets his chance tonight.
Well, another one of the debutants, as Nat said before, there's 3 debutants. They've all got an interesting story. Tom Duday, he finished runner-up in the Crows SNFL Best and Fairest last year. 1 vote behind Scotty Thompson, who dominated at that level, as we know. He's a first-round draft pick. He's a first-round draft pick in 2015. It's his 3rd year on the list, and he's finally playing his first senior game. That is a long wait for a first-round pick.
How are you going to call him when he gets his first kick? Or first touch, or first goal.
Oh,
what if it? Zippity-doo-day.
That's probably worse, Wayne, isn't it? Shorey.
It's good to have Shorey in on a Friday night occasionally, but not every week.
It is still late March.
I reckon it's a good one.
Just on him, Beaver, they say that if it wasn't for Jake Lever, he would have been playing a long time ago. They're very similar players, so can't wait to see how he can intercept marks, a lot like Lever did in previous years.
And the air raid now sounding out around the stadium.
Gavin Wanganeen's doing that.
The Bomber legend for tonight, the 1993 Brownlow medalist, and a superstar for 2 clubs, the Bombers, and of course Port Adelaide, a premiership player for 2 clubs as well. Umpires in charge tonight. Oh, we've got Razor Ray, gentlemen. Razor Ray Chamberlain along with Robert O'Gorman and Troy Pennell. Lloydie, some final thoughts before we get underway.
One thought is how Rory Sloane was going for it as the captain tonight. He had the circle around him and he was finger pointing, he was eyeballing a lot of his players. So I assume they'll be ferocious early. So can the Bombers match the inside work? As I said, I love this midfield of the Adelaide Crows. Sloane, you've got Bryce Gibbs, you've got Matty Crouch, Richard Douglas, Sam Jacobs. So that's the issue for the Bombers. If they match them on the inside, they will beat the Adelaide Crows here tonight.
Fantastic crowd in here, Etihad Stadium. Awesome night. Maybe they should move the AFL to a summer competition. This has been fantastic. Last night at the MCG, 90,000 plus. Tonight, full house, Etihad Stadium, roof open.
You came with a 34-round season, Dwayne.
That's a very good point. You know what? We probably can't get enough of footy. We'd almost go there and play everybody twice. Ball in the middle. 45,000 here, Etihad Stadium, the second game of 2018. Hard act to follow. Last night was a ripper. We're underway for 2018 for the Crows and the Bombers, and Stringer gets the first touch out. In fact, he gave it out to Smith, so 2 of the new recruits have got a touch. Zaharakis inside 50, but it's cut off by Laird. chips the kick wide after taking the mark at half-back. Good saving mark. Poor inside 50 entry, really, because the Bombers were getting pretty excited by that entry. Devon Smith put some pressure on the kick coming out, but the mark is taken by Crouch. Looks up, goes into the midfield. He missed Douglas. He had to knock it down, Douglas, and go and get it on the wing. Feeds it back out to Laird. He keeps it low on attacking 50, and Hampton takes the mark, 48 from goal for the Crows.
I reckon they've had 3 missed kicks in that stanza of play, and everyone went to an Adelaide player. Sometimes the luck just runs with it very early.
Hampton to Seedsman, no one mans him up, and from 53, bangs into the square, and a big mark, Stringer. Oh, that's Jake Stringer. A huge pack mark at fullback.
He's a backman.
On the back of Eddie Betts as well. Little chip pass to the skipper. That's an even better start. Kick it to the captain early. Heppel's got it in the right back pocket, long down the line. Stewart from 4th in line. Got a piece of it, couldn't hang on. The Crows will go forward though. And the little kick around the corner from Matt Crouch, but it's intercepted. And it's straight to Dyson Heppel, who has got the shaggiest of locks. There's a few different hairstyles tonight. Bryce Gibbs with the short back.
You're running with the same one you've been running with for 10 years.
Thank you, Dwayne. He kicks down the line. Danaher was the target, and Talia, the dual All-Australian, thumps it out of bounds. A throw in 70 around from the Adelaide goal. They kick to the Fletcher end in this quarter, and the Bombers, of course, kick to the Matthew Lloyd end.
Back into play. Bill Chambers from behind, knocks it down to the front. Merrick gets there first, feeds the handball back, got it to Goddard, kicks it high towards the wing. Talia attacks it, front spot, and he outmarks Danaher. Good grab. Danaher should have really punched from behind, didn't, and Talia took a strong one on the wing. No score to either team. 2 minutes gone. Opening term brought to you by the good people at Chemist Warehouse.
Nothing on short, bangs it inside forward 50, no mark taken. Zarakis was stripped to the footy. McKenna, little handball to Merritt. Toe poke pass was nice. Begley took the mark. Above his eyes, got a quick handball to Zarakis. Kicks down the line, Stewart's the target, and he's taken the mark, 75 from home. It's a pretty open forward line. Bombers need to move it quickly. Shins a kick inside forward 50. Clean bowls Rory Laird. Hit Darcy Parish in the face, but he recovered best. All the Crows sweated off him, and his left foot snap misses to the left. It's the opening score of the night. It's taken 2.5 minutes, and on the Chemist Warehouse scoreboard, the Bombers lead with that minor score.
Couple of matchups. Adam Sard has gone to Eddie Betts, and down the other end, Talia has gone to Joey Danaher.
Brown kicks in from fullback to Laird. Couldn't take the mark, over to Sloan. He's at a half-back flank. Little chip kick works. McGovern takes the mark, feeds it back again. The Crows are out from defence here. Hampton in the middle of the ground. Fumbled a handball, gave it back to Season. He was tripped. And he will take off. Could have got the free, did get the free, took off, kick, missed. Kicked it behind. That was a very clever professional trip by Heppel.
Should that be 50 metres?
50-metre penalty.
Well,
if he pulled up, I think it would have been.
Leave the bloody game alone, you bloke.
I'm just saying what it has been.
Was that an early yodel in that?
Yeah, it was.
With the Luke Brown kicking.
Look at
Bombers.
Wait until Duday gets it.
Sard goes short to Brown. He bangs it long out towards centre wing, and Zarakis mops up. Handball to Bell Chambers, who's also gone the buzz cut. Handball to Heppel, handball to Goddard. Standing start, good kick, and Stringer. The mark wasn't paid. In the one motion, he scooped a handball to Devon Smith. Ball to boot very quickly. Laird, who's been prolific as always, very early, gets a handball to Hartigan, a handball to Jacobs, a handball to Gibbs. Back to Jacobs. They're working in about a 3-metre square circle, and he then turns it over by kicking it straight to Heppel. A quick handball, and Hurley, he turns it over. He's kicked it straight to Gibbs, who handballs it, or short passes it to Matty Crouch. Out wide in space to Rory Atkins. Forward line's pretty open, and he delivers it lace out to Fogarty. The number 1 draft pick for the Crows. In fact, the first South Australian taken in last year's draft. And he will line up for goal with the man on the mark standing at 49.
Powerful, explosive player, this boy, but he blew out in the draft due to an injury, and also he hasn't got a big tank. But deep inside 50, he will give the Bombers some troubles tonight.
It's a very, very big club now. Those that have kicked the goal with their first kick in league footy. He loads up from 55, and he's just joined that club. He connected beautifully. Good hit, as Tony Shaw said, and he is mobbed by his teammates. Welcome to the big league, Darcy Fogarty. And the first goal of the night goes the way of the Crows. 5 minutes in, Adelaide 1-1-7. Bombers 1 behind on the Chemist Warehouse scoreboard.
Well, it hasn't been a pretty start from both sides. A lot of turnovers in midfield, short passes, but Just looking to see where Dyson Heppel, he's gone into the centre bounce here, but he was playing most of his work from the back half, then maybe just rolling back. I think they know that he just knows how to link up well, and he's had a lot of possessions, 4 so far early in the game.
It's a big game for Fogarty. I know it's his first game, but also for Josh Jenkins, because Tex Walker will be back soon, and you can't play them all. McGovern, Fogarty, Jenkins and Walker, so they might be playing for the one spot.
Bill Chambers in the ruck, knocks it down. Matthew Lloyd, by the way, on 3AW football with Tony Shaw. Natalie Edwards on the boundary. We'll get down to Natalie Edwards very shortly, but a free kick here after the tackle by Atkins. So free kick to the Adelaide Crows at half-back flank. And the rat, Rory Atkins, looks up. Not a lot on offer. Danaher comes at him. It's ignored. He goes longer. Eddie Betts flew on attacking 50. Couldn't bring it down. In fact, he gathered the crumb. Kick to Fogarty. 1 grab 2. He was manhandled. No free. Picked up by Devon Smith. Last line of defence. Tackle laid. And it's too high. The tackle. It'll be a free kick to the Bombers. And it's going to Brown of the Bombers. 1-1, plays 1 behind, 6 gone. Chemist Warehouse scoreboard, opening term.
He goes very short to Devon Smith, who scoots away. I don't think the mark was paid, in fact. It only went about 9 metres. Long ball down towards centre wing. Punched away by Jake Kelly. All commentators are happy that Lever's left, because his lookalike now is easy to spot. The Bombers strip the Crows of the footy, and Langford squirts a kick down the line, but it's intercepted by Talia, who was pushed in the side by Danaher cleverly just as he kicked it, and sent it sailing out of bounds on the full. Goddard to take the resultant free kick. In fact, he's got to handball it down the line to Josh Green, who returns the favour from centre wing right in front of the interchange gates. He retreats to Goddard. Sloane stands the mark, slightly defensive side of centre wing. Goddard off a step, 55-metre drop punt down the line. Hooker was the target. Danaher does the roving at the back, the biggest rover in history. He then goes again, trying to get it to McDonald, Tip and Woody. Got a handball to McGrath, handball to Langford. Off a step, he just sets it up to 25 out from goal. And the mark's been taken. Stewart, sticky fingers. And he takes a great contested grab. And he'll line up for goal from 25 out directly in front.
He's a tough matchup, Stewart, because he gets the number 3 defender, and he's got Duday today. And so they've taken him back to the goal square, and he'll be too big and too powerful, you think, for the first gamer. So Danaher and Hooker have pushed up high. Smart play from the forward line there.
Kicked 2-3 against the Crows when they met at this venue late last year. Can he find the target with what should be a pretty simple shot? Stuttering approach, low drop punt, straight through the middle. And the Bombers square it up, 1-1-7 each of 2. Chemist Warehouse scoreboard, 8 minutes into the opening term. Here's Tony Shaw on Friday night, 3AW football.
Well, he's been a good get, hasn't he, James Stewart, the son of Craig Stewart, former Collingwood champ.
Still hurts for you to say that, doesn't it?
It does hurt me a lot, let me tell you that, because I thought even in the first place, before he went to his first club, he would have been at Collingwood. But then he might have got away with one. There was a little shove, but the umpire said that... Razor just said there wasn't enough in it, and it wasn't in the back, maybe in the side. So, well done. No, he's, like I said, Lloyd, a very difficult matchup.
Used his body well then too.
An 8-man defence, Dwayne, the Adelaide Crows at this centre bounce.
So they've done it again. Pushed him back. Bill Chambers knocks it down. Got it to Goddard. Got it to Parrish. Kick off the side of the boot towards half forward. Little nudge by Laird on Devon Smith. Got away with it. Gave it to Seedsman. He bangs a long bomb. Jenkins under it. Brown with him. Brown can't mark it. Knocks it to the back. Hurley about to be tackled by McGovern. Half a handball, half a throw. Got away with it. Close to the boundary. Bumped out on the line. Umpire circling, and he says ball it in. Forward pocket for the Adelaide Crows. Good contest. Great crowd. Perfect night for footy. Chemist Warehouse scoreboard 1-1-7 apiece. What have you got for us downstairs, Nat? Anything happening down there?
Well, Jake Stringer's just come off for his first spell. He's sitting on the bench, been on the phone to the coach, but he looks pretty pleased with himself so far. Yeah,
a couple of touches for Jake Stringer. Now, backing out was Douglas. Tried to get a kick towards Fogarty. Couldn't trap it, and it rolls through 4 behind. 1-1 plays 1-2. Here's the Beaver.
So the Bombers bring it in quickly through Hurley. It's a little short pass to Heppel in the right back pocket. Down the line, and Mitch Brown.
Is it
going to be 50, or did he actually just drop it out of his hands? Jenkins was in the vicinity. Umpire Pennell gave Josh Jenkins the benefit of the doubt. From right half back, Mitch Brown wants to transfer play and hung in the air for a while before Matty D took the mark, and he was...
Blood rule, I think.
Yeah, was he clipped by McGovern as he took the mark?
I think it might have been prior to it, Beef.
Okay, so umpire Gorman has spotted that, so a short break. We had a blood rule early last night with big Toby Nankervis. Matty D trots off, and Nick over the left eye. Nat Edwards down on the boundary for Master Builders.
Yeah, he's just coming off just over the left eye. Nothing too serious, just a small cut at this stage. Doc's having a look.
Disposal winners, Beaver. Brendan Goddard has 5, Heppel 5, and for the Crows, Rory Laird also has 5.
So Hurley takes the kick instead of D, and he heads out to a contested situation. Bell Chambers takes a fine grab in front of Sammy Jacobs.
Yeah, be disappointed with that, Jacobs. It was his for grabbing. Hooker takes the mark, hands it off immediately. Little chiselling kick inside 50, running onto it, gathering. McGrath has a shot, puts it through. Did brilliantly there. Something out of nothing, really, although it was created by Bell Chambers, outmarking Jacobs, who completely misread the pill. 2-1-13 to 1-2-8 Bombers lead Chemist Warehouse scoreboard, and we've played 11 minutes opening term.
Don't know about you, Lloydie, but I'm been a bit disappointed with both sides about the intensity at the contest. It's not like a real defensive game, a hard tackling game early. You know, you'd normally get that early in the first game of the season for any club. But, yeah, just, again, I think Essendon's midfield or outside run is going to be a real problem for the Crows tonight.
Yeah, it has been a game of turnovers so far tonight in terms of tackles, 5 to 6. So you're right, not many in the game, 11 minutes into the first quarter.
Jenkins into the ruck against Bell Chambers, who outpointed him easily. Goddard overran it, was scooped up there by Matty Crouch. Out towards centre wing, ball in dispute. Douglas with a little fumble. You're just wondering whether the sweat might be being a factor at the moment, given the how hot it is. Now the kick inside forward 50. McGovern claimed the mark, and the umpire, that being Razor Ray, said no, it hit the deck or might have been touched on the way through. Definitely touched. So we will, definitely dropped. We'll have a throw up, 48 out from the Adelaide goal. A lot of players around the footy. Ellis Yeoman tries to crash through. Matty Crouch has got it again. Quick handball to Luke Brown. High up and under. It'll land on about 50 or just beyond. Betts was it flew really high. No mark taken. Goddard at the front of the contest. Snaps it around the corner, but it's all Adelaide, and Laird's got it again.
Quick movement across their attacking 50. Seathman sees it knocked away, gathers his own crumb, handballs to his own advantage. Right with him though, McGrath did brilliantly. Handball up, could have been a free for too high. Play on advantage. McGrath to Devon Smith. Listen to the Bomber fans roar. They are loving this. Devon Smith goes long. Hooker gets there, can't mark, spoiled away, straight through McGrath's legs. Good hard attack from Laird. Handballs it up. Probably should have gone a bit longer than Hardigan with the handball. He gave it up to McKay. High bomb, half forward, getting back. Hurley couldn't take the mark, got himself a free, I think.
Gee, late call.
And was damn lucky.
So good from Andrew McGrath on that wing. He's with Sard coming into the club. He's become a wingman, which is great because he can now hit the scoreboard as well.
Hurley wants to transfer play, does to Zaharakis, confronted by Betts, but darts around the little small forward, but turns it over, kicked it straight to Dickie Douglas, open forward line, and the Bombers are going to be made to pay. Short pass to Betts, pops it over the top, and Hampton has got it in the right forward pocket. Tough angle, but only about 20 metres out from goal.
Well, that was their big problem last year too, Beaver. They're the worst side in the competition of turning the ball coming out of defensive 50, and that was Zaharakis, just missed an easy kick inside the corridor.
So Curtly Hampton missed so much of last year with that major ankle issue. He is a class footballer when his body doesn't fail him. He was eye-catching at times for the Giants. He's shooting for goal, and he's guiding it through. Good conversion from that angle, and the Crows get their second and get their beaks in front. 2-2-14. Essendon 2-1-13. That's on the Chemist Warehouse scoreboard, and we've played 14 and a half minutes of the opening term.
Dwayne and I were just discussing off air how many forgives. I think with the new hairdo, he's hard to see out there. Yes. I wouldn't have hardly seen him have a touch, but he's had 4 touches, 2 kicks, 2 handballs for Bryce Gibbs. But you're right, Shorey, that ball use out of half back. Goddard's back there, used it well. Sard, it's an interesting matchup on Eddie Betts. You'd love to see him run and carry the ball, but he can't do too much of that when you've got to worry about Eddie Betts. So I just wonder if there's another matchup, Connor McKenna possibly, just so you can allow Adam Sard to run and carry the footy.
From the ball up, Jenkins gets up early, knocked it down. Ellis Yeoman nearly the clearance. Jenkins gets his own clearance. Got a little handball out, couldn't quite get it out. Murphy had a chance to get a stat, the first gamer. Gets another chance in the congestion to try and knock it out. Ball finally does come out. Langford tried to break free with it, and they get it clear. Out wide, McDonald, Tippin, Woody or Green. Green will get there first. McDonald, Tippin, Woody runs for him. He ignores him. He bangs it long, and Stringer, running out of full forward, takes the mark, 48 out. 45-degree angle. This is the same guy who played in the JLT, yeah? Hardly saw it. And yet he's been really good tonight in his first game as a Bomber, and he can put a full stop on a pretty good first 15 minutes with a goal here from 48 out. Tough angle. In he runs. Struck it a little thin. It's bending back. It's just missed to the near side. So 16 minutes gone, opening term, brought to you by Chemist Warehouse. Discover the new fragrance Diesel, only the brave. Silver, available now. 14 plays 14. No real need to tell you. It's all square.
Luke Brown with the kick in. Oh, and he made Alice Yeoman stretch for it, but took the mark low down from the 20-metre short pass. He kicks out very wide. It's a wobbly thing, but Duday takes the mark at left half back. South Africa 8 for 301 in the cricket as Duday comes inboard to Sloane. Quick handball to Matty Crouch. Back to Sloane. It's labour intensive. Back to Crouch. Handball then to Rory Atkins. Tries to get back onto his left foot. Handball's back to Crouch. He wobbles a kick down the line, and that's a good mark by Fogarty. In front of his eyes and in front of Sard, between wing and half forward. He just goes short and lateral to Crouch, and momentarily the tempo goes out of this one. Crouch doesn't like the short options. He's going to roost it high to the top of the square. Massive pack fly at the footy. Stewart at the back playing the defender's role, drops the mark. Stringer's there as well. He hooks around and gets good meterage down the line. Oh, what a great mark. Terrific. No, the mark's got to be paid, surely.
Yeah, has to be.
No, umpire's called that it wasn't completed. He's going to pay a boundary throw in. It was it Crouch?
Oh, that's a mark. He held total control.
It was Duday who took the mark, and the Essendon player...
He just cost him mark of the year.
Pushed Matty Crouch into him. How was that not paid?
That was an absolute ripper. Ball back into play. Chance for Gibbs. Half a handball, half a throw. Play on. Merritt had a chance at it. Crouch gives it back to Talia. Bumped on the kick. Wobbles it inside 50. Betts can't trap it. Hampton can't trap it. Picked up by Jenkins. He got a handball out, but it was wide and just in time. And it'll be a ball. Is that the same umpire who didn't pay the mark? That's the same umpire who didn't pay the mark moments ago.
We name names, Dwayne. Robert O'Gorman, number 10.
Okay, well, Robert O'Gorman, And what's he doing next week, Beef? They've been told they've got 3 week stints these days.
Yeah, together.
So when does the VFL start? Okay. So James Stewart's got the ball at right half back for the Bombers, covering plenty of ground. Kicks down the line. Bell Chambers the target. Had to play the defender's role and slap it down. There's plenty of Crows there though. McKay, the veteran winger from defensive side of centre wing, bangs it down. Oh, big mark, McGovern.
Not paid either.
That wasn't paid either. Offhand Sloane wheels around off the non-preferred left, kicks towards full forward, and Hartley. And hasn't he grown the locks over the summer? Takes the mark and transfers play to Goddard in the left back pocket.
So from the back pocket he heads wide. McKenna gives a little handball to McGrath, goes inboard, probably shouldn't have. Turnover picked up by Greenwood for the Crows, gave it up to McKay, 50 from goal, runs to 40, runs to 35, wobbles one and wobbles it wide. Only a behind, but they lead 2-3 to 2-2. Chemist Warehouse scoreboard as we're about to tick into time on opening term.
Inside 50s, 13-5 in favour of Adelaide. So they have dominated this quarter, but have not put it on the scoreboard.
Matty D with the kick in, short into the left back pocket to Hurley. Nothing on short, long down the line in the Danaher direction. A thump back inside forward 50 for the Crows. McGrath mops up, handball to Devon Smith, handball to Goddard. Back to McGrath, off a step. A long punt to centre wing, and it is all Adelaide. And the easy mark taken there by Talia. He kicks it inboard to Jacobs, who was pretty good below his knees. He made something bad look good. Got a handball to Crouch, who's been prolific as always. Transfers play, and Gibbs marks right on the paint of 50. On slightly better than a 45-degree angle. He needs a shepherd on the mark. That's what he wanted from McGovern. He gets an extra metre. He loads up. He makes the distance, but tugs it left. And another minor score. 2-4-16 the Crows. 2-2-14 the Bombers. 20 minutes in.
I think the Bombers are pushing up way too high. So we just saw Talia take another intercept mark, which isn't usually his game, but I think they're pushing up way too high, and that's why they can't get out of their defence.
Goddard lopes away. McDonald, Tim and Woody. Leapt. Was never going to be paid that, given the last two weren't paid. Gathers his own crumb. Tries to get a handball out. 55 from his defensive goal. He ties it up and will get a ball up.
It's obviously a tactic here, Shorey, but you look at this. If you win the ball of your Essendon, you can only handball it. There's nowhere to kick. I think it's getting him in some trouble.
No doubt. There's three at least three Adelaide players behind play here.
Zaharakis spins it around the body towards the wing. Heppel's there, gets there, marks it. Good grab with a floating ball. Hard to judge, but solid hands.
Now he's got to wait for them all to push forward because they're pushing really hard back defensively.
And he pokes it up in hope. And the fists come from Adelaide and thump it out of play. What are Danaher's numbers, if you can, please? Lordy at the 21-minute mark of the opening
one touch.
Yeah, just the one handball and just the one handball for Hooker as well.
Well, I don't. When you've got Hooker and you've got Danaher, you've got to keep, I think, two at least inside or forward of the back of the square at least.
Really warm Friday night in Melbourne. Roof open, which is a rarity, which means the Golden Arches, we can see them just peeping over the top towards the CBD. 3AW is football for McDonald's. Heppel with the clearance. He bangs it inside forward 50. Clean bowls a couple. Green tries to keep it in front of him. He's got three Crows for company. Turns it over unsurprisingly to Laird, who tried to get it to Duday. Chance for Luke Brown. Hot potato. Gave it to Laird. Said, I didn't want it. James Stewart mops up. Handball to Devon Smith. Kick batted down by McKay. Picked up by Matty Crouch. Ball to boot quickly. And Bell Chambers floats in from the side. And he's marked at 48 on a 45-degree angle. Great pressure from the Bomber forwards.
Yeah, it was, Beef, and they've had to wait a while for this inside 50. It's 15-6. Matty Crouch just had his 13th disposal, but that was the worst of them. So he's a nice kick for goal, Bell Chambers, but this distance you would think will test him from just outside 50.
Ball's been carrying him tonight, I reckon.
Roof open. To regain the lead. From right on 50, Bell Chambers makes spectacular connection. And he puts it over the goal umpire's cap, and Lloydie, it hits the fence on the full. 3-2-20 Essendon, 2-4-16 Adelaide, and that was a pancake parlour goal of the night. Lovely.
Well, he started well. I think he's had a fair impact. He's held his own with Jenkins. With Jacobs. So that's a good start. Bit fortunate on that occasion because it was a shocking kick off the side of the boot that went in the centre corridor, and I don't think Jacobs would have been defending that part of the ground. He was defending goal side. Been a scrappy game, but a lot of pressure out there.
Great to have your company wherever you might be listening to 3AW around the planet. Tony Shaw, Matthew Lloyd, Dwayne Russell, Bruce Ebert, Nat Edwards on the boundary. In fact, we'll go down to Nat. Anything happening down there, Nat?
Yeah, Adelaide forward Eddie Betts came off, and it's no surprises that Adam Sard for the Essendon Football Club also came off at the same time, going head-to-head.
Nice work for Master Builders. Nat Edwards on the boundary as Devon Smith gets the clearance, chips it inside 50, and Laird drops back with the fly, takes a good mark for the Adelaide Crows. So they had more of the ball, more inside 50s, but they don't lead. Gibbs heads wide with the kick, looking for Douglas. Nice hands. Good grab in front of McKenna. Just floats a little one over the top towards the wing. Holding the ball use with Kelly. Maintaining possession. He looks up and he's almost got every Bomber in front of him now from the wing. He thumps it up high. Jenkins is down there. Big flyers go up. D can't take it. McGovern does. Gives it to Atkins. He floats it towards full forward. Seedsman, can he get there? It might bounce. And it misses to the near side, but only by a metre. 24 gone, opening term, Chemist Warehouse. Scoreboard, Adelaide 2-5, 17, Essendon 3-2-20.
Devon Smith, he read the play well then. The Adelaide forward line was out of position, kicked to himself, ran on 10, and a long ball to Hurley, who flipped it over the top by hand to Zaharakis. Neat pass to Cale Hooker, who marks on centre wing, and then a 20-metre handball to Parrish, who didn't have to break stride, bangs it into the forward pocket, and Stewart, as he marked it in the field of play, boundary umpire said he has juggled it over the boundary line, and now we're going to have a conference between boundary umpire and field umpire. And what's your decision, gentlemen?
Well,
he's been overruled, the boundary umpire. The mark's been paid.
I thought he made the right decision too.
Stewart runs around to improve the angle from 45. Hello! He's got his second. And that is a pancake parlour goal of the night.
Lovely.
Bombers out to a 9-point buffer, 4-2-26. Crows 2-5-17. Chemist Warehouse scoreboard is Shorey and Lloyd.
They'll be kicking their TVs in Adelaide after Doody wasn't paid that mark. Doody, and yet Stewart, who deserved to be paid that mark, got the mark given to him.
I thought he completed the mark over the boundary line, so hopefully we see it again on the replay. But
he maintained touch across the line, though.
Yeah, so anyway, we'll have another look at it and see what we think. But there's a replay for Yarra Valley and Croydon Toyota, and there's the decisions you're talking about, Dwayne. They're showing it with Duday and also this mark here, Shorey. Tell me what your thoughts are.
The market prior. Yeah, I think he's got a prior. I think he had control before he went over the line.
And the ball up, Crows in a little spot of bother. Kicked forward by, in fact, ricochets back to Murphy, so he gets 2 kicks for his trouble. Still couldn't find a target with it, and they hassle it away, the Bombers. Zaharakis got it from Merritt. They're full of run. Danaher calls for it long. It's too far away, though. Goddard goes back to go forward. Handballs it to Merritt on the wing. He spears it looking for Heppel, who was running the wrong direction to get it. Douglas had it, but he coughed it up to Green. He kicks it down to her. Beaten by Talia. Great mark by Talia. Handballed it back. Little 1-2s on offer here. Atkins chips it towards the wing. McGovern wants to fly. Geez, a great mark. He's one of the best judges of the ball in the comp. That was a great grab.
So Mitch
and
McGovern,
a great kick.
Terrific kick inboard, opening up the centre corridor to Diggy Douglas, who stepped off his line and he'll be pinged. And Merritt obviously gave him a gobful as well, because Richard Douglas stands up and remonstrates with the young Essendon star. And that has butchered a golden scoring opportunity for Adelaide. Just took that one step, blindsided by Merritt, and he wins the free kick. Well, poor kick, looking for Danaher, put it in his bootlaces. Jacobs needs to be clean below his knees, wasn't on that occasion. McKay got it to Talia. He was slung as he kicked and it went out wide. Atkins will be happy to see it over the boundary line. Knew the contact was coming from Devon Smith. Played for the free kick, umpire said throw it in with 1:36 remaining until the first change, and it is the Bombers by 9 points.
Back into play. Just the Essendon side of the wing. Bill Chambers flicks it to Heppel, who couldn't get away with it. Gibbs does. Go into Douglas. He floats one to half forward, and Brown, in fact, as Hartley takes the mark for the Bombers. He goes back to Brown with a chip kick, who's inside defensive 50, trying to spread the Adelaide Crows players. Heads wide towards Hurley. McGovern can't hunt him down. Hurley got there first. Then he dropped it. Fumbled it. Got his own crumb back. Hands to McDonald. Timberwoody. That's why there's a roar. He chips a little one. Looking for Hooker on the lead. Big him his shoulder. He's knocked Merritt out. I reckon he got him in the head. It could be a reportable offence. Long kick. Full forward. And he is still down, Merritt. He has not moved at all.
And it was Dickie Douglas as well. Was that the payback? Crows run it down through half back. All eyes, though, on Zach Merritt, the young Essendon star, very groggy. He's up on his feet now. Seedsman charges through centre wing, really open forward line. In fact, there's just 2 players there, and Jenkins has got it. He just eased Mitch Brown under the footy and took the mark, and there's going to be a 50-metre penalty as well, which will only be required to go 20. And Josh Jenkins is going to kick his first goal of the night from the goal line. But let's see the Yarra Valley and Croydon Toyota replay of the Douglas bump on Zach Merritt, who is coming from the ground now. We'll get down to Nat Edwards straight after the Jenkins kick. I'm not sure what the hold-up is before Jenkins is to put this goal through and bring the Crows back within 3 points. So Josh Jenkins, with Hartley standing on the goal line, bangs it home. 3-5-23 Adelaide, 4-2-26 Essendon. Here's Nat Edwards.
Yeah, Doc Reid is just having a talk to Zach Merritt now. He is insisting he is completely fine.
Good
he keeps
bump.
repeating it over and over again, saying, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. But I do think he is going down into the rooms right now. He'll probably have to get a concussion test, but he does not look happy at all.
Perfect bump then. If that is reportable, our game is going backwards there. He made contact just under his shoulder. I reckon he took the wind out of him, and that's why Merritt did get up in the end. So that was a perfect bump.
I agree, but what if he's doing a concussion test, Shorey?
Well, I don't care how he's doing. He got up and he's walked off the ground. I think he was more winded. It was a perfect bump straight under the shoulder blade.
And he was knocked out in a JLT game, so they'd be concerned about his health as well.
Good point, Lloydie. Very good point. And we'll watch another replay, but Stringer's got the ball up, 5 seconds left. So we're going to talk you through a replay very shortly when the siren sounds in a matter of seconds. In fact, there is the siren. So we'll go through it just before the break quickly. Adelaide 3-5-23, Essendon 4-2 26. Quarter time, Chemist Warehouse scoreboard. The initial contact did look on the shoulder, as Shorey and Matthew Lloyd have explained, but his head does whiplash into Douglas after the initial contact. So it'll be interesting to see whether the secondary contact causes a report or not. He's down in the rooms. Nat Edwards is on the spot, so he's going to get a concussion test as we speak. And as we know, you can get cooked by a bad doctor's report in this game. So we'll keep watching this space. Quarter time, don't go anywhere. 3AW is football.
This is the 2018 Toyota AFL Premiership season. This quarter brought to you by Chemist Warehouse, the home of real brands and real savings.